Ajimoro, I think when we last met in Nairobi last year, you've since made many trips and many investments in Africa. I know you have another trip to South Africa next week. This Saturday. Your take on the risk and in Africa and the geopolitical environments in these markets that you are investing in. Are you getting more comfortable that things are smoother, the growth prospects are there, and you can actually build big businesses that you can exit from?
Thank you. That's a great question. So I think as investors, we always have to look at our allocation, our portfolio, right? And one of the reasons I started looking at Africa, other than being born there, is impact, but also 100% of my wealth is tied up in the US, right? What happens if the economy, market, politics tank? Then we start all over. It's great to have a blue passport until the blue passport's not worth much. So Africa presented a unique opportunity to both impact my mother continent and also diversify my assets, right? And yes, there's risk. That's why we say with all assets, you really don't want to go above 2-3%, right? When you invest in Africa, and then you're balancing that with your other portfolio. I had it happens anywhere, but I had a portfolio company where we're writing it off, and I'm upset about that. But at the same time, what we can do as investors to balance that is, same time the market was tanking here in the US, February, March, I bought a ton of NVIDIA, and that more than made up for it. So there's ways that you can balance out your risk if you're looking at it globally, versus I'm not going to just tell everybody, hey, just put everything into Africa. Be smart, wade in. That's what I did. I did a few investments and a few investments more, and it's addicting after a while. And you'll have a lot of good friends like Eric, Chanzo Capital, a lot of who want to help you get in and explain the market to you. I think one more thing I will share is understanding some of the legal risk with different regimes. I'm an attorney, so I always look at how law plays into that. So understanding whether you want your companies to have the holding company in Delaware, or if you're comfortable with the holding company being in Nairobi. Whatever it is, you have to determine that for yourself, and there's plenty of people around who are more than happy to walk you through it.
Yeah, amazing insights there. I think one of the things I'd like to touch base on is, if you look at Africa, there has been a big growth in youth that are digitally connected. There's a lot of investment in driving connectivity, and this is creating a lot of opportunity within the tech venture space. How do you think, if you were to give advice to founders that are sitting here, where are the other opportunities besides fintech that you think Africa still presents a big upside? And I can start with you, Ajimoro, on that.
Thank you. Healthcare. I think we should not be flying outside of Africa to have surgeries and certain basic procedures. Clinics really need to be revitalized. And what about one of the great portfolio companies is doing a lot of that? There is so much, I think as you were saying, there's easy problems to fix. A lot of easy problems to fix, and I think many of those surround healthcare. So look at healthcare logistics. It shouldn't take 3 hours to go across Cape Town for anyone. It really shouldn't. So how do we move people and things?
Yeah.